Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yemini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. Before I begin, each Wednesday, we put out a minute perspective which can be seen on Instagram at Parsha Perspective or on Facebook at the Parsha Perspective before the full episode of the Parsha Perspective comes out on Thursdays. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of the complete and speedy recovery of Pharaoh's Bas Ariela, Sasson Betzalel Ben Batya, and Sapir Bas Ariela. This week's Parsha Perspective is also dedicated in memory of Shlomo ben Edward and Edward ben Shaul. May their souls be uplifted and their memories a blessing. Our Parsha begins with Hashem revealing to Moshe Rabbeinu one of his most holy and secretive names, a name that he did not reveal even to our forefathers, Havaya. Hashem then tells Moshe that he has heard the cries of the Jewish nation, and now he will avenge the Jewish nation and take them out of Egypt. Our Parsha has 7 out of the 10 plagues that God struck the Egyptians with: blood, frogs, lice, wild animals, death of cattle, boils, and fiery hail. Each plague cycle lasted 1 month. Moshe and Aaron would warn Pharaoh about the upcoming plague for 3 weeks, and the plague itself would last 1 week. However, a question comes to mind. When Moshe told the Jewish nation the 5 words of salvation and redemption, they did not pay attention, for they were tired, exhausted, and worn out from all the forced labor. So Moshe relayed the reaction to Hashem, who responded that he must go speak to Pharaoh. As the pasuk writes, "Boi daber el Pharaoh melech Mitzrayim," come and speak to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. However, the word in Hebrew, boi, means come, which implies that someone is going with Moshe to speak to Pharaoh. Who was going with Moshe to speak to Pharaoh to release the Jewish nation? One of the answers that is given is that Hashem was speaking about Aaron, his brother. For Moshe just told Hashem that when he spoke to the Jewish people, they did not listen. And as it says in the end of next pasuk, I have a speech impediment, ani or else vasayim. And therefore, Hashem was telling Moshe that Aaron, his older brother, should come with him when speaking to Pharaoh. And this is why we see that Hashem instructs both Moshe and Aaron in the next pasuk to go and address Pharaoh together. However, the Chizkuni, the famous French rabbi, gives a deeper and more profound explanation. He writes that God told Moshe to come and speak to Pharaoh because he was going with him. Hashem was not telling Moshe to go speak to Pharaoh by himself, but instead how God himself would accompany Moshe when he goes to Pharaoh. He was going there to give Moshe the courage, the strength, and confidence to demand the Jewish people's release. The Chizkuni continues that in fact Hashem accompanies the Jewish people wherever they go. As Moshe said in his last speech in Devarim to the Jewish nation, V'shav Hashem lekecha shivusecha, and God will return with you to your fortune. And Rashi explains that we learn from here that God follows us to wherever we go. Whether we travel to the 4 corners of the universe or embark on a new spiritual journey, Hashem is with us. The Talmud in Avodah Zarah writes that part of Hashem's day since our exile is mourning the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, the temple, for he is with us in exile as well. And when David HaMelech was on the brink of death without food or water, he famously said, Gam ki elech begeitz hamaves lo ira ki ata imadi. Though I walk through the valley of the deepest darkness, I fear no harm, for you are with me. In our daily life, it is imperative that we understand that God is always with us no matter where we are. And this important lesson is especially prevalent during such chaotic and unsettling times. And we must remember that from the time of Avram Avinu, there has been an enduring and everlasting bond that has solidified our relationship with God. We should never think that we are forsaken or without leader, heaven forbid. For even when we can't see him, we must know that he is with us and guiding our way. I want to quote a part of a poem of belief written by a Jew in the Nazi concentration camps during World War II. I believe in the sun even when it's not shining. I believe in God even when he's silent. I believe through any trial, for I know he's always there. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.